making the calls too, right?
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in once again. Here we are at the Brunswick baseball field, of course, here on the Brunswick High School campus. Thank you very much for joining. Vaughn Ullum once again going to be on the call for you here. And we've got the back end of a two-game series between the GCC Shaker Heights and the Brunswick Blue Devils. Now, in that very, very first game, Shaker Heights did lose that game. It was by a sizable margin, a mercy rule margin, though they did play the full 7 innings of baseball there. Shaker Heights came in and they competed till the very end. They had a 3-2 ball game entering into that final inning, inning number 7. But after that, that last inning was not one to remember for Shaker Heights baseball. 9 runs coming in for the Blue Devils off of, I believe it was Jeremy Silver and Quinn Malone, who each pitched that back end of the game. But Shaker Heights really, after that, was not able to rebound. Of course, it was a 10-run deficit by that point, and Shaker Heights lost it 12-2 was your final yesterday. Apologies that I was not able to come out and call that game. I was out in Phoenix, Arizona, so we will be back here today, however, of course, and decent conditions out here today. We're looking at a game time temperature of 72, so right about there at that home temperature that you have. Maybe you're watching it back in 72 degrees back home. But Shaker Heights coming into today, 2-7 is their record, while Brunswick isn't doing too much better. They are sitting, per their game changer, at a 3-5 record. So again, not too much better, though they are still a team that knows they should be able to come out here today on their youth day and come and win here at home. Last season, Shaker Heights lost here. Shaker Heights looking for a different kind of situation and get that very first GCC rivalry win that if we're not including the Euclid game in which Shaker Heights was able to mercy them for the past couple of years. Getting a win here today going to be a very different type of win than what they've had. They were able to beat Euclid once. They were able to beat West Geauga, but we all know here coming into today that Brunswick is just one of those more competitive schools, and as we get the rundown behind me, we're going to step aside. Vaughn here on the play-by-play. Thank you very much for joining us. Today what we have for you, it's going to be powder blue jerseys on top of white pants here today for the Blue Devils and a multicolored hat. They've got the white front of the cap, the dark blue back of the cap, and then a baby blue brim. It's a clean little look there for the Blue Devils. And here today, starting things off for the Red Raiders, Casey Robinson, who hacks at the first one. That one can bloop into center, and indeed just going to get over the head of the shortstop, number 7. And Casey Robinson going to try and take 2. Nobody covering, and he'll slide into second easy. Poor defense early that time for Brunswick, and so leadoff man on for the Red Raiders. Good look already. Casey Robinson once again getting on base. He has been a name to note entering into today. He's been moved up into that leadoff position for the Raiders. Originally, it was guys like Nate Landever and Leo Pevnik. Leo Pevnik was unable to produce, and Nate Landever, of course, still out after his injury sustained in West Geauga. Michael Coxon sends a tapper down the third baseline. Shaker Heights here, of course, in the Brunswick field. It's going to be different for them, and the reason being the grass just isn't where it needs to be. And so, as a result, we could be seeing some more defensive errors, as it's going to be a lot of bouncing off of this tall grass that's just not taken care of so far. Here in Brunswick, we were talking to the head coach of Brunswick before this game. He was complaining about it. This pitch up high, that evens it up 1-1. Runner on second, Casey Robinson, already threatening. Are the Red Raiders early on in this one with what was technically a bloop hit by Casey Robinson? Whether that's a single or a double, up to you, but on the game changer, they're ruling it as a double. Here, a good bunt over. The third baseman unable to handle it. Michael Cox is going to beat it out without a throw. Good start early on, and Michael Cox now kind of caught up in a rundown. Will he under the slide? They call him safe over at first, they call him out over at first, but as a result on the throw, Casey Robinson able to come in and score from third. Shaker Heights already with a 1-0 lead here in Brunswick territory. They'll get that first out, but it'll be an out for a run exchange. And we go to the 3-hole hitter, the sophomore, Aaron Neiman. Seeing the ball better and better every day. First pitch here, 1 out here to Aaron Neiman. This one down low outside. I'm aware we got a backup catcher in here today for the Blue Devils. Duffala, the catcher, and then Burke, the man on the mound here today. They thought it was going to be a lefty pitching around the mid-80s, but instead, Shaker Heights getting what we're aware is one of the guys lower in their rotation, which head coach Stephen English was not exactly pleased about, but you got to deal with what you're handed, and if Shaker Heights can just pick up the win, it'll be all the same. The pitch, that one up high on Aaron Neiman. He'll take that one for ball 2. Neiman, the shortstop once again in today's game, entering in. He's got an average of 182, which, like a lot of guys here on the roster, is just not where it needs to be. Only 4 guys hitting above 300. There, that one in there on the lower half. But once we get that cutoff at 300, if we go down, then the next guy is Eli Stolfus, who's batting only 235. So it's 333 or above, and after that, it's 235. Here's the pitch. This one, Aaron Neiman sends a roller over. And the throw goes awry out into the Brunswick Blue Devils dugout. Not even taking the round to go to second is Aaron Neiman. He'll be content with his reach on error over there on the right side of the infield. Again, as we said, it's going to be a couple of bounces. Maybe that one just Trush off guard, but regardless, he was able to handle it, but the throw just missed the mark, and And there you go, Aaron Neiman aboard with one away and already a 1-0 lead here for Shaker Heights. It's going to be Braden White due up now. Behind him going to be Malachi Kranz in the 5 spot. Here's the pitch to Braden White, that one up high. Behind Kranz, the 6, 7, 8, 9 guys are going to be Leo Pevnik, Isaac Lazar, Andy Berglund, and Quinn Malone. Braden White on a 1-0. And eventually it'll come, and he'll hold off, but rule strike one anyway. That was a good pitch. It was lower. But Shaker Heights will have to live with that, even though some Shaker supporters not exactly happy with that call. Regardless, Shaker Heights up against Lake Catholic was the last game we called. That umpire had a rough call of things against the Shaker Heights offense. As we said, even head coach Stephen English wasn't exactly pleased with it either, as we saw at the very end of the broadcast before we hopped on. 1-2 here to Braden White. Taking his lead off of first, Aaron Neiman. Shaker Heights up 1-0. And here's the 1-2. And this one lined out in the right center. That one going to get down. Neiman rounding on second. And English going to hold him there at third. And Braden White, once again, he's one of those guys hitting .333 and above. And he is able to keep it rolling for the Red Raiders. And Malachi Kranz with a good RBI situation here. Braden White entering into today was exactly at that .333 spot. So was Andy Berglund and Casey Robinson. Michael Coxon up all alone at .346. He's the guy with the RBI here today. This one sent over to Malachi Kranz. He'll foul this one back behind the bleachers of home plate. Sunny now out here at the Brunswick baseball field. Sun just continues to peek out, but then it'll be covered by a cloud. As quick as it comes in, it's gone. Pitch to Malachi Kranz. Ooh, half swing, went around. That was in an 0-2 hole. One away, Malachi Kranz, as we said, entering into today, but adding 185. White taking his lead off of first, Neiman following suit at third. Getting another run here in this first inning would be big. And this one up high, Braden White going for the steal of second. And now it's going to get away from the middle infielder. Aaron Neiman making the break home, and the throw off target. And Aaron Neiman comes in to score. That's run number 2 here in the top of the first. Still only one away. It's 2-0 Shaker Heights. Malachi Kranz still the guy with AB. Now we're going to get the clean off of home plate by the brush of the home plate umpire. Malachi Kranz 1-2 count as he took that last one up high. The throw down to second missed, so Braden White was easily taking second, and Aaron Neiman had an easy call to head home. So already a couple of defensive mistakes here for Brunswick, and indeed the game changer rules it as 2 defensive errors already for this one. Outside, good take that time for Malachi Kranz. As we said earlier, new bat for Malachi Kranz. Hasn't gotten it to exactly go his way just yet, though we know it can. Just got to wake it up, perhaps, and now he's at a 2-2 count. And here's 2-2. That one, ooh, in tight. Ruled. That one's going to be strike 3. Malachi Kranz didn't like the call. Shaking his head as he walks on back to the dugout, and that's going to be out number 2 here in the first. Shaker Heights looking for that big break, a big base knock, and a big inning. And right now, good start to the ball game and a 2-0 score. 2-0 Shaker Heights on top. Of course, Brunswick still has their opportunity to respond here in the inning. Just getting started. Leo Pevnik here in the 6th spot here today, number 3 on the back of his jersey. He'll take this one outside as well. 2-0 goes your count. Pevnik entering into today having, I believe, games with back-to-back hits, which is big time for him. He hasn't been able to get anything going, but then the 2 games where he was able to get 1 in the Lake Catholic game, 2 against Brunswick. And this one popped up. This one going to reach center field. Center fielder, he'll make the routine grab. So Leo Pevnik going to be silenced for this first inning, but still plenty of game to go as Shaker Heights takes the lead early in this one. It's a 2-0 score. Runs coming in from Casey Robinson and Aaron Neiman. We'll be right back with you for the bottom of the first as Brunswick comes up to bat for the first time. Wesley Lewis, your starter here today for the Red Raiders, out on the bump, number 14. And he's yet to really get into that groove. Of course, it's still relatively a young season. We're 9 games into it, being game number 10. But Wesley Lewis, a guy that just hasn't been able to find that rhythm just yet. Here, if Shaker Heights' offense can get something going up against Burke, the pitcher, of course, for Brunswick, if Wesley Lewis had that offense behind him, even just getting a win, even if it's an ugly win, even if it's one that he gives up and runs, it can still just be what he needs to find that groove and get back into the swing of things this season. Shaker Heights up 2-0 after the top of the first, and first pitch in tight on number 2, Trutch, the second baseman today. He already has a defensive error to his name. So does Miller. Miller being the shortstop, so rough go on the middle infield so far for the Blue Devils. As we said, in the powder blue uniforms, clean little look for them. That one catching, 1-1 the count. Nobody out just yet here in the bottom of the first. Pitch from the right-handed dealer, that one in tight. Wesley Lewis, only 3 pitches down, but so far this season, if we're including the scrimmages, his ERA is a 6.1. That one up high. If we're not including the one scrimmage in which he pitched, it's, I believe, going to look a little bit rougher. Indeed, that's the case. 7.9 being that ERA. This next one going to be lined out in the right center. That one going to get down in front of Quinn Malone and took an awkward bounce, as we said, off of the tall grass in front of him. But he'll be able to deliver that one back. Shaker Heights already going to have to deal with a runner on board. 2-0. They're in the lead, but just like them, leadoff runner on for Brunswick. Hubble, number 9, digging in. Trush taking his lead off of first. Wesley Lewis, the sophomore, deals, and this one a bunt, and that's going to go foul off to the right. First strike 1. Shaker Heights, as we said, 2-7 to start the season, and it's mainly been an issue of they just haven't gotten a whole lot of runs. Across the 9 games, the most runs they have gotten, of course, was against Euclid, in which they had 17. But again, if we're not counting that, it's a big drop-off down to 7. But, yeah, Shaker Heights, in the name of offense, just hasn't gotten a whole lot going for them. In total, in runs, let me double check on this stat. Yes, 41 runs through the 9 games, which seems just fine there. A big swing and miss from Hubble. I'll take care of him, no problem. 1 strike, 2 strike, 3 strike, and he's gone. And so That'll be a big out for Wesley Lewis again, needing to get that momentum. And up next comes Adams, number 27 on the back of his jersey. Double play ball opportunity here for Wesley Lewis. And here's the pickoff throw over at first. Trush back in safely, head first. One away here, one runner on. Off of a lining hit out in the right center that got down. This pitch up high, the throw back over to first. Back in safely is Trush. The defensive makeup here today for the Red Raiders, Mike Coxon, of course, catching the balls and strikes behind home plate of Wesley Lewis. Out in the infield, got Casey Robinson over at first, Andy Berglund at second, Aaron Neiman, the other middle infielder, over at third, Malachi Kranz. This one comes to him, but in foul ground. And he'll stop in his tracks and deliver this one off to Wesley Lewis. He wanted that one. He wanted the easy ground out. Granted, it would have been tough on the run, but Malachi Kranz wanted it there for out number 2, but it'll go for foul and even it up at 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away. Out in the outfield from right to left, Wood Malone, Leo Pevnik, Isaac Lazar. Here the throw back over to Casey Robinson. Back in safely is Trush. Wesley Lewis with another check over the left shoulder. The delivery, and this one fouled back over our heads and over the bleachers. And there's strike number 2. Adams, the 3-hole hitter here today. As we said, double play is available. As Trush takes his lead off of first. Or eventually will. Here he goes. 1-2 pitch from the right-handed. And this one lined out in the center. I'm going to get down in front of Leo Pevnik. Pevnik with a quick send back in to the infield. And so it'll hold off Trush over at second. But there you go. Big-time single keeps this one going in the sake of offense. And now RBI opportunity for the next man up, Wichita. Wichita digging in here. He's the center fielder in today's game. Number 11 on the back of the baby blue jersey. Again, sun peeking right back out. Could be some trouble for any outfielder, specifically Isaac Lazar out and left. Here's the pitch. That one's going to catch 100% indeed. Strike 1. Shaker Heights up 2-0. But right now, Brunswick creeping back with a couple of base knocks. The good thing, Shaker Heights without any defensive errors to this point. That one missing. 1-1 goes your count. Due up next for Shaker Heights on offense would be your 7, 8, 9 guys. Hopefully, they're able to avoid that part of the line so far. Michael Coxon with the throw on to third. Did he get him? No, just sliding in head first was Trush. Just able to avoid it, though. Good rebound from Michael Coxon trying to make the throw. But the pitch did miss. It goes to a 2-1 count, and now one base knock evens this one up at 2 apiece. Only one out so far. 2-1 count. Here to the center fielder. This one bit up high. 3 balls, 1 strike. If he walks him here, bases loaded, 1 out. And due up next is the third baseman. And this pitch going to catch on the outside half. We count it down. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here. Payoff pitch coming. 2 runners on. Wichita up against Wesley Lewis here. Righty-righty matchup here. A tapper back to Wesley Lewis, and he'll make the throw on to first as he holds the runner over at third. Beauty of a play that time. A good way to hold that time. Good infield awareness from Wesley Lewis, and he's able to work it to out number 2 and keep runners off the scoreboard. Still an RBI opportunity here for the third baseman. Shaker Heights up 2-0 here in the early stages. So now a new at-bat here. Wesley Lewis with the pitch. And this one tapper over. Great diving play by Malachi Kranz. The throw across the diamond. Gonna be off target. At least he kept it in the infield. It was an impressive effort there for Malachi Kranz. But just unable to make that throw in time. Got the jersey dirty, but still. 2-1 now goes your score as Trush comes in from third. Adams 90 feet up from second to third. This pitch up high. Poindexter taking his lead off of first. Rosher, number 26, the new bat. Your right fielder in today's game. Pitch to him. That one right down Main Street. Evens it up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wesley Lewis, as we said, entering into today, 7.9 ERA. But a guy that we all know he can do much better than that. And not one a big swing and a miss. He'll get him for strike 2. But yeah, Wesley Lewis entering into today 0-1 record as he technically got the loss against University School. Other than that, he did not technically get that loss against Gilmore Academy. This one scrapes off the tip of the bat and into the glove of Michael Coxon. So even though Wesley Lewis has had a rough start to the season here, a good start, a winning start here as we close the first inning. Shaker Heights and Brunswick even in hits, but not in runs. Shaker Heights leading 2-1 after the first. Vaughn Ullum on the call. We'll be right back with you. Due up for the Red Raiders, Luzar, Berglund, and Malone. And we're back here at the top of the second. Shaker Heights in a 2-1 lead after the first. 3 hits each, but the difference is that Shaker Heights hasn't had any defensive errors on the back. On the other hand, Brunswick with 2. First pitch over Isaac Lazar, the freshman. Oof. Takes that one inside for strike 1. Lazar trying to back out of the way of that one, but he won't get the call. Lazar, Berglund, and Malone. The 3 guys due up here at the very bottom of the order. 7, 8, 9 guys here. Next pitch for Isaac Lazar. I'll ground this one over to third. Easy handle. And the throw on the first is in time. Easy throw for Poindexter. So 1 quick out here is Isaac Lazar. So he'll jig his way back over to the third baseline dugout. Shaker Heights looking for a couple of hits. Will the bottom of the order continue to get that going? It's going to be Andy Berglund, a guy that has been hitting well. He just hasn't had a whole lot of time up in the varsity level to this point to really make his bet a known factor of his game. Here today, again, over at second, O'Shea Howard out of this one. Next pitch to Andy Berglund, also going to catch low and away that little corner. There's strike 2. 0-2 hole here for Andy Berglund, the sophomore. Second baseman, just trying to keep his hits going. And this would be a really great game to keep it going against. This next one outside, an easy take that time for Berglund. 1-2 count here. 1 away, 2-1 score. Shaker Heights in the lead, looking for more. Next pitch to Berglund, that one inside. He backed out of the way of that one as he took it for ball 2. Evened it up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Shaker Heights here today, as we said, just needing more hits right now. Not a whole bunch of hits. And this one, that's going to be a hit up the middle. Andy Berglund will round first, but be content with the single. And Andy Berglund, who's already batting .333 through his 6 ABs, is going to extend his hit total to 3 with now 3 singles. Good look for him. Andy Berglund, a guy that's just been hitting it well so far, and we're hoping to maybe see him a little bit more on the varsity side, considering he's been hitting it just as well as these other guys like Braden White, Casey Robinson, Michael Coxon. Some of the best hitters on the team. Andy Berglund right up there in the name of average. So it's a question as to whether they're going to keep him in lineups. This pitch up high. Berglund was thinking about taking it over to second. He'll stay put. Shaker Heights now to 4 hits. Quinn Malone, left-handed hitter. He pitched very well against West Geauga. He almost went the complete game, but instead he only went 6. Eli Stolfus came in relief. Stolfus not in this game here today, not with the team at all. I'm aware, I believe he's downtown watching some good old playoff basketball. Next pitch, this one down low. It's going to get away from the catcher and easily taking second. Going to be Andy Berglund. He works his way back into scoring position. Shaker Heights with a good opportunity here to strike on some more runs. We'll see if they can with Quinn Malone now in a 3-1 spot. 1 out here. 2-1 score. Can Shaker Heights lay on some more? Again, some early offensive production for Shaker would be huge. Here's the pitch. That one taken outside. Quinn Malone walks. He'll jog his way over to first. So only with only 1 out, Casey Robinson going to be taking home plate. Already 1 for 1 with a run. It was him and Aaron Neiman to get those first couple of runs across for the Red Raiders. Of course, Casey Robinson was able to score after he got a leadoff double. It was just a bloop double out there in the center field. That one taken for strike 1. Casey Robinson in that first time up. He blooped it right in front of Wajtala. But as it blooped right in front of him, the 2 middle infielders went off to go track down the ball as well. So no one was covering second base. And he was just easily able to take it for what would eventually be, either call it a bloop single with an infield error, except maybe that's not the case, considering they were all there for the ball, so it wasn't exactly an error on nobody covering. But regardless, 0-2 hole here for Robinson. This next pitch, this one's skied up over to the left side. This is going to be a tough play over there at left, and thinking about tagging up is Andy Berglund. The catch is made by Moore, and there's out number 2. RBI chance here for the catcher. Michael Coxon got an RBI already, but he actually wasn't able to reach base. It was an RBI. It was an RBI sacrifice ground at. 2 away here, 2 runners on. Taking the lead off of second is Berglund. Off of first is Quinn Malone. Time called. Stepping aside, Michael Coxon. Stepping off of second once again is Andy Berglund. Here's the pitch. That one, ooh, very much up high. Coxon will leave that one, no question. Burke, the pitcher here today, already up to 36 pitches now. Or excuse me, 37 pitches now. Of them, only 21 hitting the zone. Shaker Heights taking advantage of counts. And here Michael Coxon swinging deep for that one, but he won't be able to draw contact. 1-1 was your count. Michael Coxon, a guy that right during the very, very beginning of things, against Fairbanks, the Ohio school that Shaker Heights took on in their first game of the Myrtle Beach scrimmages, Michael Coxon had what I believe was either an RBI single or an RBI double. Regardless, Michael Coxon drew in a run very first hit at the varsity level. Of course, it was for a scrimmage, but after that, Shaker Heights knew that they would be able to get something good out of him, but this time he'll look for strike 3. And a frustrated Michael Coxon heads back over to the dugout. Shaker Heights will need to stay content for now with a 2-1 lead, as Wesley Lewis will be set to take the mound once again there for the bottom of the second. Due up also the 7, 8, 9 guys for Brunswick. It's going to be Duffala, Moore, and Miller, the catcher, left fielder, and shortstop, due up for the Blue Devils. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum with the call. We'll be right back with you. And we're back with you here for the bottom of the second inning. Shaker Heights leading this one 2-1 against the Blue Devils of Brunswick High School. However, the different Shaker Heights has gotten 2 opportunities to bat, while on the other side, Brunswick only with 1. Ooh, this one runs in and nails him on the left arm. So immediately, rough start to the bottom of the second here for Wesley Lewis, but of course, still a long bottom of the second. He'll be able to rebound, hopefully no problem. The catcher on over at first. Shaker Heights softball playing today as well. They are down by 1 to the Menor Cardinals, a squad in which they had lost to 12-0, I believe, earlier this season. We called that game out there in Menor. It was a good competitive game. It just got away from him there at the very end. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one outside as well. The throw over to first. Is it in time? No. Duffala back in safely head first. 2-0 goes your count. 14 against 14. Wesley Lewis against Burke, the pitcher for Brunswick, which 14 can get the better of him. Here's the 2-0. And here a bunt attempt on the third base lining, and a roll foul off to the left eye. That'll go strike number 1. 2-1, Shaker Heights with a lead. They have a run to give of insurance, but of course, that's the difference between a winning game and a tied game. Lewis, 27 pitches deep, 16 hitting the zone, better ratio than Burke on the other side. This one inside, but ooh, ruled strike 2. Not liking it that time is going to be Moore, as he'll shake his head back towards home plate, but he'll have this one up as it's going to even it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out just yet as Duffala takes his lead. This one fouled off over to the right side. Opposite field contact that time for Moore, but won't do any good. Shaker Heights yesterday, as we said, lost the game 12-2 in a 7th inning game, though. It just was not exactly a fun watch for any Shaker Heights fan. We were only able to catch those, I believe, 5th and 6th innings. We were on the plane for the seventh, but that seventh inning, as we said earlier, was not one to remember if you're Shaker Heights. A 9-run seventh inning for Brunswick. But here today, hopefully a different story as Shaker Heights has the lead early on. This one, a pie, taken. So what does that mean? Well, it means we count it down. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Or excuse me, nobody out. Excuse me, I thought there was 1 out. Still nobody out. As here's the throw on to first. It was Wesley Lewis trying to get me that countdown as he made the pickoff over at first, but Duffalo back in safely. That would have been lovely. Here's the payoff pitch. This one grounded over the left side. That's one just going to get by between Andy Berglund and Malachi Grands. And now we're going to get time called. Stephen English jogging his way out to the mid-infield dirt. We're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll take a breath. 2 runners on. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. 2-1 ball game. Shaker in the lead. Two-one score. Wesley Lewis in the lead here. With his defense up behind him. Here's a bunt attempt. This one popped up over to the right side. It'll go into the netting. Both Robinson and Michael Coxon wanted that one. It'll just sneak away. Miller, the 9th guy in the order, number 7 on the back of the jersey. He's trying to move the 2 runners into scoring position here as Brunswick down by 1. Trying to get back to even and maybe give them a lead here at home. Lewis up to 33 pitches. After the check over at second, now the throw, there's 34. Swung through and missed. For strike 2. 0-2 hole now for Miller. Miller, the shortstop here today for Brunswick. And that next one just barely missing. Shaker Heights and Brunswick even with 4 hits per squad. The main difference, as we said earlier, Brunswick with 2 defensive errors, both coming from the middle infield. 1 over at second, 1 up short. Yeah, this one cut on, sent foul over to the right side once again. The middle infielders actually swapped, by the way, here for the second inning. Originally, I believe, per the game changer, it was Neiman over to the left side of second, and it was Berglund over to the right. But Berglund now is going to be over at short. And Neiman at second. This one tapped over to the left side. Malachi Kranz was set to grab that force out at third, but ruled foul by the home plate umpire. We'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out just yet. 2-1 score. Shaker in the lead, trying to protect that 1-run lead. But of course, not the easiest to protect. It's only 1 run. Here's the pitch. This one's skied up. Should be easily managed by Aaron Neiman. He'll make the routine grab. Weak contact that time from Miller, and it'll be out number 1. Big out number 1 here for the sophomore pitcher, as we said earlier. It's just a guy that needs to get a win, even if it's one of those ugly wins, even if it's one in which he gives up some runs. He just needs to get that first win. And then it just feels like all will be right. Or at least all will be better with Wesley Lewis. We'll see. 1 away here as we go back to the top of the order. Brunswick's Trush, number 2. Digs in, and he'll sky this one up. We'll see who's able to make this one. It's Andy Berglund coming in, and right behind second base, he'll make the grab. Still just barely on the infield dirt. And there you go. 2 quick outs there for Wesley Lewis. Big-time momentum gain for Shaker Heights' defense. And they still have that 1-run lead intact as we go to the second guy in the order. That's Hubble, number 9. Hubble, lefty hitter against a righty pitcher. This one sent foul behind us. Wesley Lewis nearing that 40 pitch mark. Actually, this one is going to be pitch number 40. And this one fouled back into the netting in front of you, in front of where your camera lies. Here, Wesley Lewis, 41 down, 28 of them going for strikes. Of course, 13 of them not. Couple 0 for 1 to begin his day. Struck out his first time up here. That one taken for ball 1. Tried to get him with something out of the zone, but not going to work out. We'll see what they go to here. Wesley Lewis with the check over at second. And the pitch, this one lined out. That's going to get over the head of Andy Berglund. It's going to get down. That's going to score the runner from second. The throw to the middle infield, and we're all tied up. Here in the bottom of the second now, that turns their score 2-2. As a big-time RBI knock from Hubble, as now he'll take his spot over at first, and there you go, even ball game now. Wesley Lewis can't let this one get the better of him. He's got to come out of this inning. Still trying to get a little bit of momentum. Adams, 1 for 1 on the day with a single himself. We'll see if he can turn that momentum into an RBI single. 2 runs so far for the Blue Devils. 1 for Trush, 1 for Defala. Here, time called, I believe, by the batter. 0-1 spot here for the batter. Moore off of second. He'll get the check from Wesley Lewis, and this one sent in past the middle infield. That one gonna get through, and it's gonna be an easy score once again. Moore coming in from second, 180 feet forward, and there's run number 3 coming across. And as we've said a great many times in multiple different games, it feels like once Wesley Lewis gives up 1 hit, he gives up 2, and then 3, and then it just feels to become a bit of a mental game for Wesley Lewis. So now it's a 1-run lead for the Blue Devils here at their home base. Wajtala 0 for 1 entering into this AB. So far 2 strikeouts for Wesley Lewis. He would love to get one here. And that one in right down the middle for strike 1. Adams on first, Hubble on second, as he'll take the lead. Lewis with the check down, and now the throw. Here, Michael Cox's throw. Ooh, almost got away from Casey Robinson. Robinson extending to make sure that one doesn't get on by and out in the right field. That could have scored Hubble from second, but luckily not the case. 2-1 count. Wajtala taking time. Not exactly sure what we're waiting on. I believe an equipment issue now. It wasn't Wajtala to take time. .48 pitches down. Here's 49 from Wesley Lewis. Gets him in the back. In a 2-1 count, Wesley Lewis hits Wajtala in the numbers, and we work it to a full situation now for Wesley Lewis. Obviously not ideal. This pitch down low. 2 away here. Bases loaded, though. And it's for number 13. Poindexter already 1 for 1 with an RBI. Looking for more here. That one, ooh, just off the mark, I suppose. 2-0 goes your count. Hopefully he doesn't walk a guy into this one. Two away. He's got to calm things down now. This next pitch, that'll make it.
There you
3-2. Blue Devils already lead it here, but they're looking for more with the bases loaded. The pitch, that one fouled off. Oh, over to the right side. You could see all the Blue Devils ducking out of the way of that one as it made its way over. Shaker Heights would love to come back up with what would be 3, 4, 5 guys due and only a 1-run deficit to make up. Here's a 2-2 offering with 2 away, bases loaded, and now a late time call for number 13, Poindexter. Poindexter, 5 guy in the batting order, that middle spot. As we said, 1 for 1 with the RBI. And now here swings and misses big time. Strikeout that time for Wesley Lewis. And that is a huge play from the sophomore to try and get Shaker back into the dugout with a little bit of momentum off of a strikeout, though they now have a losing deficit. 3-2, Brunswick leads as we conclude the second inning. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call. We'll be right back with you for the third. Three-two, your score. Brunswick in the lead. Catcher is getting a little bit of a wrap around his left arm. That's going to be his catching arm, not actually the throwing arm. But now as it's wrapped up, we get back to it. 3, 4, 5 guys due up here for the Red Raiders in the third inning. It's going to be Aaron Neiman, the sophomore, and then 2 seniors being Braden White and Malachi Kranz, designated hitter and third baseman here today. But Aaron Neiman, your shortstop originally, though he became the second baseman after flipping with Andy Berglund. Again, that's per our game changer. 3-2 score. Brunswick taking the lead there in the second inning with 2 runs. And here Aaron Neiman's looking to change it there. Good swing. That one going to reach the wall off of a bounce. Aaron Neiman going around second. We'll see. Do they decide to wave him to third? No, they'll keep him there with a leadoff double for the sophomore. Good contact. Once again, Aaron Neiman, guy that we like seeing, taking the big swings, and that's exactly why. RBI opportunity for the designated hitter, Braden White, with nobody out here in the top of the third. Low pressure situation here for the Red Raiders offense. Just got to string another hit together, and this one's back to even. And here's first pitch to Braden White, up and in. Moved his upper body out of that way of that one. Again, sun peeking out, and right now looking like no clouds up in that direction over to the right of us. So hopefully sun's going to stay out for a little while longer. Braden White 1 for 1 to begin his day. Next pitch, ooh, takes a big hack at that one. Looking to take the lead, swing like that. Braden White doing a lot better from the hitting standpoint this season. Are yet to see one of the big Braden bombs, but it's all right because he's been putting the ball in play a lot more. Here's the 1-1. There, a swing and a miss. Scrapes off the bat into the glove of DeFala. Malachi Kranz would be due up next. Or he will be due up next. Aaron Neiman taking his lead off of second. 1-2 hole here for the designated hitter. Burke checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch, and Braden White sends this one a tapper foul down the third baseline. Way to protect here from Braden White. As we said, White entering into today, one of those couple of guys entering in with the batting average at a .333. Of course, here in the 10th game of the season, it's not exactly a young season anymore. We're approaching that middle point of the season. Here's the next pitch. Half swing, good leave. Just barely able to hold off was Braden White, but hold off he did. And that evened it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out with a runner on second being Aaron Neiman. 3-2 your score with Brunswick in the lead, but one base knock can take away that lead in the blink of an eye. Here's Burke's 47th. This one's skied up. This should remain on the infield, calling off everybody. The first baseman, Adams, and he'll make the grab. RBI chance here for Malachi Kranz. Shaker Heights cannot continue to let big doubles like Aaron Neiman's go to waste. They got to get a run out of this. And if not, it just feels like all momentum will drift away. Malachi Kranz with a hit yesterday against Brunswick, looking to duplicate that here today. And now would be a great opportunity. He starts things off 0 for 1. As he got a called strike 3. There, a swing and a miss. And that was a tough call in his last at-bat. That one looked very much in tight. I believe everyone thought so. But home plate umpire did not. He sees what he sees, he calls what he calls, and we're going to have to let that one be. And here Malachi Kranz pops this one up. That one going to get out of play over. O'Shea Howard, again, not playing this one. He's going to be the man to go grab it behind the third base dugout. Malachi Kranz now worked his way into an 0-2 hole. Aaron Neiman still in scoring position. He's taking the lead off of second as we speak. Malachi Kranz looking to avoid 0 for 2. 50th coming from Burke. And this one down low for ball. Aaron Neiman will reach third without a throw. Easy steal that time. Got a good jump, did Aaron Neiman. So with a slide that he didn't exactly need, runner deeper in scoring position. So now for Malachi Kranz, all it will take is a fly out. And this one's tied. We'll see. From 0-2 to 1-2 as that last one missed. This next one, swing and a miss for Malachi Kranz. Frustrated with that one, but still a runner on in scoring position for Leo Pevnik. Malachi Kranz now back-to-back strikeouts, 1 called, 1 swinging. Leo Pevnik here, the last guy to not allow that leadoff double to go to waste. 2 away here. Top of the third, Neiman off of third. This pitch up high, good take from Pevnik. Keep in mind, 1 missed ball, and Aaron Neiman could take home as well, and it'd be tied, but Burke hasn't had any getaway from DeFala just yet. Keep in mind, however, backup catcher in for the Blue Devils here today as well. 2-0 goes your count to Leo Pevnik. 2 away here, runner on. Being over at third, Aaron Neiman with a beauty of a double. He got all of that one, just wasn't able to exactly lift it over the home run wall, but sometimes that's all right if you're able to get something like a leadoff double. Here, Pevnik sends one into left center. That one going to drop out of reach of Wajtala, and there you go. That one going to go as a 2-out clutch RBI single from Leo Pevnik, and eventually, though it took a couple of outs, that leadoff double not going to go to waste as Aaron Neiman comes in from third. Would have come in from second as well, so regardless, it's going to be a 3-3 even ball game. We're back to it with Isaac Lazar who's 0 for 1 to begin his day, making his way into the right-handed batter's box. He woke up his bat in that game against West Geauga. Since then, nothing doing against Lake Catholic. Here the throw down over at second. He might have him, and indeed, good throw. Dafala, and tagged out was Leo Pevnik on the 2-out steal, and that concludes things for the top of the third. So Isaac Lazar will actually get his chance there in the middle inning, the fourth inning, where it's going to be him, Andy Burgle, and Quinn Malone due up. On the other side, however, Brunswick back to the offensive side. Shaker Heights needs to protect a tied game now, as it's going to be Rosher, Dafala, and Moore due up for the Devils. We'll be back for the bottom of the third. 3-3 your score. Three even ball game between the Brunswick Varsity Blue Devils and the Shaker Heights Varsity Red Raiders. This one down low and away. Taken for ball one. Wesley Lewis back out to the mound here for the third. Rosher 0 for 1 to begin his day at the plate. He's back in 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far. He'll take this one low and away as well. Wesley Lewis, unfortunately, did not have a great go there in the second inning. So Shaker Heights did respond and even it back up there in the top of the third. So now it's up to Wesley Lewis to keep the score where it is and get Shaker Heights' offense back up there. After they got the last run, it'd be a big-time deal for Lewis. Lewis's next pitch, this one sent through. Malachi Kren's just unable to snag it up through the hole. Between second and third, and so with that, once again, leadoff runner on over at third is, or excuse me, over at first is Rosher. Dafala. Hit by a pitches last time up. Came around later to score a run. This one popped up. This should be doable for either Robinson or Coxon. Robinson works his way in from first and in foul territory to the right side. He'll make the grab for out number one. One pitch, one out, and there goes the catcher Dafala. He's had not a whole lot of time up at the plate. I believe it was a first pitch hit into the back, and that sent him over to first. Other than that, one pitch, one out here on the foul out over to the right side. Took care of him that time. Next pitch from Lewis. This one's sent up, and that's got a lot of distance on it. There it goes, just in front of the center field wall. Worked in here from Pevnik, and he goes for the throw over at third. Not sure that was the throw, as that'll score in run number 4 for the Blue Devils. And that's going to be a triple there for Rosher. Not the throw there from Pevnik. Again, of course, that's not his typical position, as Landover typically would be over there between right and left, but not this time around, as he's still absent with the injury. Of course, that game was West Geauga. Shaker Heights was able to get the victory through that game. This next pitch, Wesley Lewis up and in on Miller. RBI chance here with one away for Miller. One fly out. It's a 2-run ball game back into the advantage of Brunswick. 4-3 your score now with the Blue Devils leading. Here's swing miss. 1-1 even count with one away. Miller 0 for 1 to begin things. Ninth guy in the batting order. This one outside. Take for ball 2. Lewis to 63 pitches of 63. Only 40 innings so far for strikes. 17 batters faced so far for Wesley Lewis. 4 runs coming in against him. All of them earned. 3 strikeouts. No walks issued just yet from Lewis, though he has hit a couple of guys. And that, of course, hasn't helped him out. 3-1 pitch. That one, ball 4. Well, I jinxed him there. Said he hasn't walked anybody yet. Next thing you know, 5-pitch walk issued to Miller. Runners at the corners with one away. If anything, the positive out of that AB, it's that now a double play ball is in order, though again, not exactly the likely scenario for Shaker Heights to this point. Trush, 1 for 2. He'll dig in. Got a lead-off single there in the first inning. Here he'll take that one for strike 1. And yeah, after getting that lead-off single, he later came around to score. It was that 1 run to come in that first inning for Brunswick. This next pitch, ooh, good pitch location inside half. Called strike 2. He's got him in an 0-2 spot. Strikeout here would be big time. Lewis checks both runners at first and third, and here's the pitch. This one fouled off over to the right side. A 4-3 score. Brunswick in the lead after getting that triple out in the right field. Here's the pitch, and this one fouled back. Coxon just unable to keep it into the glove. So we're going to do it again on an 0-2. Moore off of third, Miller off of first. Runners at the corners, 1 down. 4-3 score. Kicking the pitch from the right-handed dealer. This one tapped foul, just barely. Trush wanted that one. It looks like that might have gotten his foot down low. I believe that is the case, and that never feels good. That one off the bat into the leg. He's taking an extra second. And as he calls time. A little bit of a groan of pain, I suppose. Not sure if that was the leg. Maybe it was no man's land. I don't know what that exactly hit. Oh, 2 hole still, however. And this one up and out. Ball 1. Wesley Lewis up past 70 pitches. And only in this third inning. That's not a good sign for depth here in the game. Not exactly sure who would come in relief since Stolfus is out. Silver is out. Maybe they go back to Quinn Malone, though he just pitched yesterday. If so, it would be a much longer game for him. Here's the pitch. This one lined up and makes the hopping grab is Aaron Neiman. Great timing there from the sophomore shortstop. And there is out number 2. Maybe a little bit more tense there than it had to be, but there you go. And it'll keep the runners at the corners. Hubble now with 2 outs, runners on. 4-3 score, trying to extend that lead further. Here's the pitch, and a swing and a miss there from Hubble. 1 for 2 to begin things. One of them leading to an RBI, the other one being a strikeout. We'll see what goes this time. And this one fouled back behind us. Into the green grass behind us. Looks like a little bit of a football practice area. Of course, the field goal posts up behind us. Though their gorgeous football field actually over to the right of us. To the right of where your camera lies. Of course, out in right field, past the home run wall is where the actual school building is. Out in left, not too much going on. It's mainly just a bunch of wood area. Here's the pitch. That one up high. Michael Coxon was thinking about the throw on the skin, but he won't actually release it due to the runner over at third. They'll leave this one at the 1-2 count. Got to believe in your pitcher here in this moment. Hubble has already struck out once. Will he be another victim once again? 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Here's the pitch. This one lined out into left field. Handling it, bobbling it here is the left fielder Isaac Lazar, but here on a double pump, he'll deliver it back in. 2 runs now coming in here on the third. Wesley Lewis still yet to give up a 0 to the Brunswick offense. 1 run coming in there in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. Now it's a 5-3 game to the advantage of the home squad. That keeps runners at the corners, though we'll exchange the runners. Hubble now at first, Lewis at third. Adams, who's 2 for 2, takes this one inside. Adams, with both of them being singles, he stole the base as well. 2 outs, 1-0 counter to Adams. The pitch, that one outside, tough take.
You're right there.
Wesley Lewis now in a 2 spot. Lewis nearing 80. Now, he'll check over to first. Hubble taking the lead. This one grounded over. Krantz unable to make the grab. That one just sneaking past the glove. They are attacking that left side of the infield so far, and no different here as now Brunswick going to take that lead. They're going to double them up now. With 3 runs coming across in the third inning, it's 6-3 now the score with a runner on first and a runner on second with 2 away. Adams now 3 for 3. With now 2 RBI. Michael Coxon talking things over with Lewis. Now Coxon taking that jog on back, sophomore to sophomore. Not a whole lot of ground outs to this point here for Shaker Heights. Not sure if there have been any, though I'd imagine there would be. Shaker Heights could use some of them now. 2 away still. This one catching. Good framing there from Coxon. That one did not look like it actually did hit the zone, but framing from Michael Coxon to make it look more elevated than it actually was. This next one lined out into right field. That one going to get down. Quinn Malone sends this one in. And this one, he's going right for home, and Michael Coxon unable to apply a tag. 7-3 goes your score. As we said, if it gets to 1 hit, it feels like it gets to 2, 3, and just begin to pile on. And now that's 11 hits now for Brunswick, and we're only here in the third inning. 11 hits has brought 7 runs. For Shaker Heights, 6 hits has brought 3 runs. No defensive errors to this point so far for Shaker Heights. Still 2 away. Runners at the corners once more. Wichita off of first. Adams off of third. Poindexter 1 for 2. Took that first one for a ball, the 1-0. And this one popped up. Will that one creep out of play? Just barely, yes. One of the youth kids here for the Brunswick home team trying to make the play on it. Just popped out of the glove. We'll rule it a defensive error. No, I'm just kidding. 7-3 Brunswick in the lead with runners at the corners and 2 away. 1-1 the count here to Poindexter. The kick the pitch here from Lewis inside. Poindexter already with an RBI as well, though he struck out his last time, I believe. Here's the throw down to second, the tag, and they rule him safe at second. Wichita up 90 feet from first to second. 1 more hit, and it's a 6-run ball game. 3-1 count now. They walk him here. It's back to loaded. Here's the 3-1. That one up high. Ball 4 loads the bases. Now, even with an incredible swing of the bat, it could be an 8-run ball game. Though that might be a little out of the picture. Still 4-run ball game right now between Brunswick and Shaker Heights. Shaker Heights knows that this is a game they can win. They just need to limit the damage of the other squad. And right now, Lewis struggling to get that going. Lewis already up to 85 pitches here in the 3rd inning. Of those 85 of those 85 pitches, 53 have hit the zone. We'll see if they even throw out Lewis for the 4th, considering he's already up to this kind of pitch count. Two away here. Bases are loaded. For now, 26, Rocher, who's got a hit and a run and a strikeout. He's 1 for 2. This one popped up, and that one going to be playable for Michael Cox. He'll get it right behind the backstop. Big time play that time from Michael Coxon, ending this one prematurely. Big time opportunity for Rocher to extend that lead even further from 4 runs, but now it's time for Shaker's offense to rebound. They're rough inning on defense. We'll see if they can get it going. On offense, still very much a game they can come back into and win. 7-3 your score. Brunswick in the lead as we go into the middle inning number 4. We're back with you here for the middle inning, the 4th inning. Shaker Heights down by 4 now after a 4-run inning by the Brunswick Blue Devils offense. 4 runs coming in, and right now 7 runs in total off of 11 hits. Shaker Heights only with 6 hits to this point. They could use a big-time inning. And it all starts with the bottom of the order. It's pitched to Isaac Lazar, swing and a miss. Lazar 0 for 1. He's got Berland and Malone up behind him. Lazar 0 for 1. Berglund 1 for 1. Quinn Malone 0 for 0 after walking. And here Isaac Lazar with a liner. Will that one get down? No, a line out over to left. Good work by Moore to creep on in, make the grab on the run. On the top of the 4th, Brunswick with all momentum. And a lot cleaner of a pitch count here for Burke. After that first inning, he's really settled things down. It'll be interesting to see if it stays put for Burke. Kick the pitch from the righty dealer. Berglund swings and misses through strike 1. Berglund, as we said, entering into today, 333 average. That's obviously worked up as he went 1-for-1. Next pitch outside. 1-1 goes the count, one away. No runners on here. Berglund, a guy that, as we said earlier, we want to see him get some more reps with the way he's been swinging the bat, and we'll see if he will. Here on the varsity squad, of course. Here's the pitch. This one low. Berglund, so he claims, he was actually pitching a little bit yesterday against JV. Again, that's all word of mouth. And he'll take this one inside for strike 2. Evens it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out to Burke, whose next delivery will be pitch 60. Again, on the other side, Lewis up to 87. Not more distance for Burke than is expected for Lewis. Here, that one taken in will go as ball 3. So this time we'll be able to count it down. I know we made that mistake earlier. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Payoff pitch here with 1 out here for Berglund. Pitch 62 on its way. And this one down low, easy take that time for Berglund. So he'll walk, and that'll give up home plate to the guy who walked his last time. That's Quinn Malone. Malone, a guy that's yet to really get the bat going, but he's had decent plate appearances. And we'll see if he's able to keep offense rolling with 1 away. It would go back to the top of the order. And here's the throw on the first. Berglund back in standing. 7-3 your score. Brunswick on top of the Raiders, 7-3. This was your final against West Geauga, though Shaker Heights was the winning team. That one, ooh, inside, so thought Quinn Malone, but actually ruled for the first strike of the new count. Berglund retaking that lead off of first. Malone, no batting gloves. He'll take this one outside. Rare happening, it feels like these days, that you see a batter without batting gloves here at the high school level. Typically, all high schoolers, it feels like, are going to try to run up the parents' money and try to buy all the batting gloves that they can. But Quinn Malone says, keep your wallet away, or at least that regard. And he doesn't need the batting gloves for his ABs here at the varsity level, at the high school level here. It works to a 3 balls, 1 strike count. 1 away here for Quinn Malone. We'll see if he walks again. Again, he's able to watch him well. And here comes that 3-1. Ooh, that one in tight. Easy take. Oh, and never mind. Scoreboard had it wrong. That was 2-1. Now we'll see if Malone walks again. Berglund off of first. We'll see if he goes for a steal here on a 3-1. And no, he'll stay put. Quinn Malone goes for the swing. That's one's fouled off over to the left side. And it'll hit the grass behind the third base line. So that works us back to a countdown. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Payoff pitch here for today's right fielder. Had a lot of action out there in right field. Only a walk for him at the plate so far. This one, ooh, taken right down the pipe, and Andy Berglund going for the steal of second. And, well, he walked his first time, gets called out on strikes the second, and that brings us back to the top of the order. And Casey Robinson, 1 for 2 on the day with a run to his name. It was the very first run of the ball game. All right, here we go. Andy Berglund taking the lead off of second. RBI chance here for the first baseman, Robinson. Here's the pitch, and a swing and a miss very, very early on that one. Robinson pitched yesterday, had 5 innings of work, and good innings of work. 3 runs coming in, none of which were earned. Only walked 2, but he struck out 7. And there, a swing and a miss from Robinson. Once again, now a foul tip into the glove of DeFala.
Be a fighter here, kid.
Robinson maybe trying to get that lick back after his beauty of a pitching performance yesterday, but eventually getting the loss. This one can bloop out in the left, but a phenomenal catch by the third baseman over the head. Poindexter making the play for out number 3. Casey Robinson, a little bit of weak contact, just close to the blooplet. He almost got there in the first inning, but unfortunately not the case this time around, and that takes us to the midway point. We work into the bottom of the 4th. We'll see who comes out from the pitching standpoint for the Red Raiders. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call. Well, how about this? It's going to be Malachi Kranz getting the rock here in the middle 4th inning. A guy that has not pitched all season. I don't know if he's taken any pitching reps all season. Probably not. But there he is. Back out to the mound is Malachi Kranz, a guy who hasn't pitched since the North Royalton game of last season. And that was not a fun game to be a part of. But they pitched him because at that point it was already long gone, and so they said, why not? Here, they're throwing in Malachi Kranz to try and keep the game where it is. 7-3 the score. Brunswick on top, Malachi Kranz. Here with the first pitch. Here it comes. This one down low. Malachi Kranz was over at third. He comes in to the middle of the infield. Isaac Lazar comes in from left, and Wesley Lewis, who was originally on the mound, he's out in left field now. Here's the next pitch from Kranz. That one down low as well. Well, this could be how things go. Again, I haven't seen Malachi Kranz in this kind of spot, so if he walks a couple of guys, that might just be how it needs to be. And here's the 2-0. That's going to catch down low. Good pitch that time from Malachi Kranz. And I tell you, we were there on the bus. We were talking about relief pitching if it was needed today, and unfortunately it was early on. And with Eli Stolfus out, with Jeremy Silver out with JV, and Quinn Malone just pitching yesterday, that one down low. We were all looking to the coach. We were saying, who's going to come out in relief? Malachi Kranz took the opportunity to say on the bus, right to head coach Stephen English's face. He said to him, "Put me in, coach. I want to go out and pitch. I want to pitch. I can do a great job." And originally it was taken as a joke. Here, ball 4 down low. Ross, you're going to take first. Originally it was taken as a joke, but with the way the game shaped out to be, Malachi Krenz actually did have to come into that exact game here in the fourth inning. Something that no one is exactly hoping for, but something we're going to have to live with. And here Malachi Krenz actually going to balk over to first. So runner on second with no outs. Runner on second, no outs here. It's DeFala in now. Here's the first pitch to him. That one just up high. Ball one. Yeah, it was assistant coach Joe Welsh who actually right before this one was also saying to Malachi Krenz, he said it's going to be this one catching. That's going to be a strike. Yes, indeed. Assistant coach Joe Welsh actually said to me and him, he said it's going to be a rather unfortunate situation if you get on the mound, Malachi Krenz. But again, desperate times. After the high pitch count of Wesley Lewis only through 3 innings. And again, he meant it more as a joke, but unfortunately that was kind of the circumstance. It was an unfortunate situation and one that called for Malachi Krenz to come in or someone else that wasn't your typical reliever. Here's a 1-1, nobody out situation. This one a grounder over to Isaac Lazar. He'll handle. He'll keep the runner over at second. Now this is a good pick over at first from Casey Robinson. The good throw across the dime and gets out number 1 going. If Krenz can throw up a 0, you got to give it to him. But he gave no lie. But still much work to be done as there's a runner on second in the form of Rosher. DeFala out on the grounder. So now it's going to bring up Moore, who's 2 for 2 on the day in that 8th spot. He's got 2 runs as well with an RBI to his name. And this one lined out in the right center. That one not going to get down. Good work by Leo Pevnik to track that one down. Back-to-back outs. It's looking good for Malachi Krenz. I want to say he's more of a contact pitcher, but again, I can't really say much. We're just having fun. It's good to see him actually get that opportunity to go out to the mound when he wasn't expecting it. We were all joking about it there on the bus, but there you go. Don't know who would be next in the bullpen. Not sure if that would be a Casey Robinson coming in for relief, even though he just pitched yesterday. But Quinn Malone pitched yesterday as well. But that was only for a very brief amount of time. Here's the pitch. That one inside, but ruled for strike 1. Good pitch for Malachi Krenz. Again, I mean, I wish there was something to tell you from the pitching standpoint. But there's just nothing to give you. And this one low. Not sure why. If we go to his pitching stats on Game Changer, it says he pitched 2 against North Ridgeville. I don't know if that's accurate. I wasn't there for that game. If it is, he didn't get an out from it. He didn't get a hit from it. That one in there. Strike 2. If that is the case, yeah, he didn't give up any hits. He didn't strike anybody out. He didn't hit anybody. It was just 2 pitches that would have been in the middle of an AB, though I'm not sure that's exactly accurate, but who knows. Here's the 1-2. This one a tapper over to the third base side, handled by Isaac Lazar. Throw across. In time on another phenomenal pick from Casey Robinson. How about that? Malachi Krenz throwing up a donut to the bottom of inning number 4. Again, nothing we've seen out of Malachi Krenz, though it's good to see him keeping this a 4-run ball game. So we're going to step in front of the camera and tell you the story of the game as we do after the 4th inning of every game. Again, our apologies for not covering the game yesterday. We were out in Phoenix, but Shaker Heights lost that one by 10 runs. 9 runs for Brunswick coming in that final 7th inning. Shaker Heights was not able to rebound there in that final chance. In that final only 3 outs, they weren't able to get anything going. So now Shaker Heights once again in a rough spot, and that is due just to the fact that Wesley Lewis did have a rough go early in the game. 1 run there in the first for Brunswick, 2 in the second, and then 4 in that third high pitch count for Wesley Lewis. They take him out after 3 innings, and now Shaker Heights needs to come back from the offensive side, and that's going to be up to their top order guys. They need to get something going. It's going to, I believe, Michael Cox and Aaron Neiman, and then Braden White do up your 2, 3, 4 guys and 4 runs to make up for them. It's going to be Burke back out to the mound, I believe, for Brunswick, and we'll see if he's able, or actually I believe this is a new pitcher, so it's actually going to be a longer break. Instead of 14, it's number 4, but we'll see if their bullpen is able to keep things going and keep Shaker off of the board. I mean, Shaker Heights has had 2 runs in that first inning. It was a great start. They got runs early on, and that was something that we haven't exactly seen early on in the season, is just getting runs early. But they did here today. But now after the bounce back of Brunswick, they just got to get their momentum back, and they can't let that last inning of offense for Brunswick, or excuse me, 2 innings of offense ago for Brunswick, really weigh them down. It went from 3-3 to 7-3, and now Shaker Heights needs a big inning of their own with their bats. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call. We'll be right here with you with the play-by-play. 7-3 score, of course. Brunswick in the lead. Michael Coxon due up first. Behind him, Aaron Neiman and Braden White indeed. Catcher, shortstop, designated hitter. 2 sophomores and a senior. All of which are 1 for 2 on the day so far. Michael Coxon looking to move that to 2 for 3. And this one tapped over to the on-deck circle. Aaron Neiman going to grab it. So the new guy, number 4 in. Don't, of course, have a whole lot on him. We'll see what I can maybe try to dig out. And this one nails him in the number. And Michael Coxon immediately with the bat flip off to the backstop, and he'll run his way over to first. It didn't look like that fazed him. Hopefully he's not going to feel that too much. Briggs, the new pitcher. Briggs to this point has only pitched twice. It came against Upper Arlington and then against Shaker Heights yesterday. He kept Shaker Heights to no hits in the 1 inning he did pitch. He didn't walk anybody. He struck out 1. This one down low and inside. Didn't hit anybody with a pitch either. He's actually rocking a 1.4 ERA is Briggs. Of course, off to a more rough start here today, with Coxon taking his lead off of first. Neiman 1 for 2. And he'll take a swing and a miss. Last time up, he doubled off into right center and eventually came around to score for run number 3. Briggs, from the batting standpoint, he's having a little bit of a rough go, batting 167. That's not exactly what we're worried about. 1-1 here to Neiman. And he'll take that one on the outside half. Strike 2. Yeah, against Upper Arlington, he came in, he actually got the win on the mound. He only gave up 3 hits in the 4 innings to the Golden Bears, which gave 1 run, 1 earned run, a walk, 2 strikeouts for Jackson Briggs. Here's the next pitch on the 1-2. That one up high to Aaron Neiman. Malachi Kranz hopefully looking to get back out to the mound. He kept it clean there in the 4th inning. Shaker Heights' offense just needs to rebound, get runs back to the board here in the top of the 5th. Briggs on the 2-2. That one outside. Good leave from Aaron Neiman. Keeps this at-bat rolling and keeps Briggs on his toes. Michael Coxon over at first after getting hit in the numbers. I believe that was first pitch. And here's the payoff. That one outside, ball 4. Easy take for Aaron Neiman. First 2 guys on for the Red Raiders. Always a good sign. Braden White trying to keep the offense rolling. As Jackson Briggs, 4 pitches down, or excuse me, 7 pitches down. Or excuse me? No, I was originally right. 8 pitches down. Of the 8 pitches, only 3 of them have hit the zone so far. Braden White, nobody out, 2 runners on. Big time opportunity for him here, and he'll whack at this one, send it into center field, getting a bad read on it, and eventually it'll work its way to the wall. Booking it off of second is Michael Coxon. He'll round third and work his way home. The throw on to third. He should be in safe. Oh, they call him out over at third. Braden White took second. There's out number 1. Rough call over at third. Thought he just got under that slide, but fortunately not the case. And with that, however, Shaker Heights will get a number 4 across. And Malachi Kranz, your new pitcher of the ball game, digs in. So rule it as an RBI double for Braden White. Neiman was out over at third, so runner on second with 1 away. Here's the pitch. Malachi Kranz takes this one outside. One-0 here for Malachi Kranz. White taking the lead off of second. Kranz, holds on this one in tight.
Go
7-4 your score now after the big RBI double from White. One swing of the bat for Malachi Kranz can move it back into a 2-run ball game. Here's the pitch. This one hacked at, sent up in the left field, just in front of the warning track. It's going to be Moore holding on. Making the routine grab. White staying put over at second. And Malachi Kranz goes for out number 2. Up now, Leo Pevnik. Pevnik digging in 1 for 2. First pitch to Pevnik upstairs. Leo Pevnik, he was struggling in the name of offense, but after that, 3 straight games with hits. Before that, it was hitless. So Leo Pevnik looking to maybe get his first multi-hit game right here and maybe get an RBI. 1-0 pitch coming his way. Was actually not coming his way as we get time called. So now we're going to do it at a 1-0. No check over to Braden White. And eventually we'll get the delivery in tight. Leo Pevnik will take that, yeah. Very much inside ball 2. Well, Shaker Heights in the name of softball struggling right now against Minner once again. They're down 14-0. Though they are threatening to get their first runs across with runners on second and third. Melanie Fogarty on third. Miller on second. Milligan up to bat. That one right down the pipe. Taken by Leo Pevnik on the 3-0. Moves to 3-1. We'll see how Pevnik approaches this one. Here's the pitch. That one catching. Pevnik wanted that one. Won't get it. This is a big-time payoff pitch now to Pevnik. Up next would be Isaac Lazar. See if he gets the chance. The payoff pitch with 2 away. Here it comes. One's up high. Good hold by Pevnik. Not getting too anxious up at the plate. And now 2 runners on the top of the 5th. Isaac Lazar, if he's really able to put one over the fence. I mean, number 1 props to him as a freshman. You don't see that too often, but that would tie this ball game. Isaac Lazar 0 for 2, however, as he comes into this. Shaker Heights has only struck out 4 times, which is a big-time improvement from the offensive standpoint so far this season. Here's first pitch to Lazar. Fouls this one back. 0-1. Shaker Heights trying to get that first big-time win here on the season. West Geauga was a struggling team Brunswick, however, one of those, again, tough GCC schools. And oh, held off on that one, but still ruled as in the strike zone as the Klazar works his way into an 0-2 spot. 2 away. 2 runners on. Pevnik off first. It's White off of second. Big time chance. Here comes, and Isaac Lazar pops this one. Foul over to the right side. Running it out is going to be Isaac Lazar, but it looks like it'll fall to the dirt, and we're going to do it again at 0-2. Shaker Heights having a lot going on late in the academic year. Of course, these seniors just about to go on project. Of course, Braden White being the one senior out there on the field for Shaker. He's off of a second as we speak. One of those guys getting set to go on senior project. That's, as we said, just next week. On Friday is when the seniors leave. I'll be leaving as well, but this is going to be my senior project. Here, this one's sent up the middle. That one going to get through. Braden White going to round third. He's going to make his break over to home. Leo Pevnik going to stay put at third. And there you go. Unfortunate mistake that time from Wojtala as he was unable to really pick it up off the deep grass. And just like that, 2-run ball game as Shaker Heights is coming right back into this one. Andy Berglund now digs in. He's a sophomore, so he's still got plenty of time before he hits that senior project time. Freshman Isaac Lazar at first. Sophomore Leo Pevnik off of third. That pitch down low, but rolled for strike 1. 2 away here. Runners at the corners for Shaker Heights. 8 hits now for him. Here, Andy Berglund would love his second hit of the game. Here comes the pitch, and this one a tapper. And that one going to sneak through. The second baseman was covering, getting ready for the steal. And, yeah, that one just hit the right spot, right place, right time, and that's going to go as a hit. Good job, Andy Berglund. He'll work it to 2 for 2 on the day. And now it's a 1-run ball game. 7-6 goes your score. 3-run fifth now for Shaker Heights. Looking for more. Quinn Malone with another RBI chance. Runners at the corners, 2 away. 9 hits now for Shaker Heights. Here's the pitch. Quinn Malone takes up high. Quinn Malone 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. We'll see who comes back out to the mound for Shaker Heights. You can imagine it would make sense if it was Malachi Kranz again, considering he did rather well after giving up that first hit and then a balk. But even with that runner at second and nobody out, he was able to work his way out of that sticky situation. Quinn Malone, the last guy in the batting order, if he's able to get on Casey Robinson, due up next. Here's the pitch and a swing and a miss. There from Quinn Malone. 2-1 goes your count. Shaker Heights would love to get even here in the 5th inning. It's a 2-1 pitch, and now outside, easily taking second without a throw. Andy Berglund moving up 90. 3-1 goes your count. We'll see if he just goes all take here, Quinn Malone. Going to be a tough pitch here for Briggs, who's already up to 28 pitches to this point, and 29 on its way. And this one cut on, sent over to the shortstop. He'll handle the throw on to first, and he will get it in time. Assistant Coach Joe Welch wanted it. He won't get it, ruling it safe. But, yeah, unfortunately, it's a little bit of a biased perspective. Shaker Heights. Well, they were down 4 entering into this 5th, but it was 3 runs coming in the top of the 5th, and now it's a much bigger relief situation now for Malachi Kranz as he indeed comes back out to the mound for the Red Raiders. Again, his very first outing this season pitching, his only one besides one time last season. He's not a pitcher, but today maybe he'll make a little position for himself. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call. We'll be right back with you for the bottom of the 5th. 1-run ball game, Brunswick leading. Shaker Heights, right now, only down by a run, 7-6 score. It's been a back and forth affair. Oh, Brunswick with 4 runs in the third. Really extended that lead, and oh, this one going to go ahead, run in and get the leadoff man. Leadoff man over at first. Nothing different, though, than how it was in that last inning. Craig's a guy that, as we said, we have never seen him pitch here on the broadcast. But welcome in, Malachi Cran. So here comes Adams, who's 3 for 3 on the day. Malachi Cran's waiting for the umpire to put the ball in play. Excuse me. This one low. That's escaping to the backstop. Coxon's throw not going to be in time. And there you go. Same situation as the last inning. Last time, Kranz was able to leave it at a 0-run affair for Brunswick. But this time, Brunswick going to try to take advantage. Adams 3 for 3 with 2 RBI. And now that one missing as well inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Runner on second is Hubble. Kranz right now to 17 pitches. And now here, time called from the mound. Malachi Kranz stepping off for an extra second. Is right now 17 total pitches, 10 of them missing, 7 of them hitting the zone. Here's the pitch. That one low and outside. Kranz had a good 4th inning. Right now it's looking a little bit more difficult to work out of. So far he's yet to hit the zone, and it's a 3-0 count. Here's the pitch, and this one low. Hit the dirt. Well, not the best of starts, but this is, again, similar to what we saw in the last inning. If Malachi Kranz is able to work out of this one, would be big-time play out of him. Wichita, 1 for 2. Malachi Kranz going to try to keep this at a 7-6 ball game. It's going to be difficult, though. Here's the pitch. This one's skied up out in the center. Leo Pevnik doing his best to get under it. He'll make the grab on the run and send this one in quickly. So there you go. This is what we're talking about. He unfortunately gets the first guys on, but after that he's able to get some outs, and hopefully that remains in place. Malachi Kranz to 20 pitches of his first 20. It's 8 of them hitting the strike zone, 12 not. Not the best of ratios, but again, not your typical pitcher. And he's yet to give up a run. Here, a tapper over to third. Isaac Lazar. It'll go right off of the glove. Also unable to pick it up is Berglund. Near the throw home is going to actually keep Hubble over at third. And bases loaded, one away. Quick threatening. Isaac Lazar almost able to get that. So close. Just bounced off the tip of the glove. So 1 down, bases are loaded. Poindexter on first, Adams at second, Hubble at third. And that one in there for strike 1. They're going to rule that one as the first defensive error for the Shaker Heights defense. That one up high. 1-1 goes the count. Bases loaded for Almaty. Pinch hitter. And he'll take this one on the lower half of the zone. Strike 2. Strikeout here is big time. Malachi Kranz, your non-pitcher pitcher. Looking here for a big-time K if he can get one. Here comes the pitch. And this one lined out into right. That one just going to find the sweet spot. They're going to hold the runner at third, and that extends Brunswick's lead out to 2. 8-6 goes their score. Just hit that where it needed to be. And Almaty does his job as a pinch hitter. He'll keep this one going. Bases will once again be loaded as everyone just moves up 90 feet. One away here, bases loaded. Now it's Poindexter and Adams at second and third. No runner on as Almaty over at first. Afala 0 for 1 here today. He's walked once. Also got hit by a pitch. 8-6 now your score. Brunswick on top here at their home base. 1-0 the count. Here comes this one popped up. Foul over to the left side. That one going to get out of play. Well, that's a big-time strike. Callahan, the batter, also a pinch hitter. Number 19 on the back of the baby blue jersey. 1-1 even count. Kranz could use a big time out here, and that one called inside. He's been calling that inside strike. Good work of Malachi Kranz to take advantage of that one. As we said last time, strikeout would be big. We'll see if he can get it this time. 2-run ball game. Shaker Heights looking to keep it that way. Here in the bottom of the fifth. Still 2 more innings to go. Hey, this has been a slower affair than many. As we're nearing the 2-hour mark, and well, we still got 2 more innings. This one's sent down the third base line fair. That one going to get through. The throw in from Wesley Lewis is going to keep the runner at third. And once again, bases are going to be loaded this time. Now it's going to be a 3-run ball game. Malachi Kranz just looking for that second out. He's worked it into 2 strike spots. And here Moore, who's seen the ball well today, 2 for 3, has an opportunity to extend that lead some more. To kick the pitch from Kranz. That one, ooh, just outside. Kranz up to 30 of the 30 pitches. We're seeing a 50-50 split, 15 strikes, 15 balls through the 30. Here's the 1-0, and this one's skied up out in the left field. That should score. The man on the sac fly, the throw in. And indeed, that will bring in Poindexter. So a 3-run fifth, and it's right back to where it was at the beginning of the inning. Shaker Heights got 3, but Brunswick responds right back with their own. Smigla, the batter, 0 for 1. He came in as a pinch hitter earlier on for Miller, who was 0 for 1 with a run and a walk. Surprised they honestly took him out. This one grounded over to Andy Berglund. The flip on to second. They'll take the force at second. And Shaker Heights still down by 4 as they give up 3 once again. And 6 more outs, 4 runs to make up. And we'll see how this all pans out in the 6th inning. Due up for the Red Raiders, Casey Robinson, Michael Cox, and Aaron Neiman. That's the top of the order, 1, 2, 3. We'll see what they can get done. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call, 10-6 your score with the Blue Devils on top. Shaker Heights back up with their bats. They are losing this one by 4, though. In that last inning, they were able to get 3 across. They just are looking for that big-time inning that Brunswick had in the third. And we'll see if Shaker Heights can get that here with Casey Robinson at the top of the order due up. Briggs up to 29 pitches, his 30th to be the first here in the top of the 6th. And here it comes, and Casey Robinson takes this one up and away. Malachi Kranz pitched 2 innings. He gave up only 1 earned run, though 3 total on 2 hits and 2 walks, and 1 hit by pitch. That one also just gonna barely miss. Tough call for the umpire, but he'll make it. 2-0 the count now to Casey Robinson, 1 for 3, the man in the leadoff spot today. Here's that 2-0. This one low as well. Be a big-time inning if Shaker Heights can put up runs just like Brunswick did and work this way back to a close game before we get to that final inning. Here's the 3-0. That one, going to catch on the outside half. Three balls, 1 strike, no out. This one, low, tough call to Robinson. That worked it full from 3-0 to 3-2 on tough strike calls. Robinson thought he had that walk locked up. Nothing just yet, and here's the kick the pitch from the right-handed dealer. This one fouled back into the sun-covered grass behind us. Again, sun's still out. It's working its way down deeper into the skyline. Or into the horizon, I should say. We're going to do it again at a payoff opportunity. Outs here. Here it comes. And this one fouled back once again. Robinson fighting. Making Briggs work for this first out at the top of the 6th. Robinson actually trying not to give it to him. Shaker Heights with 9 hits this game. Better, I believe, than any game so far if we're not including Euclid, though it actually might have been that same way against Euclid. And here another payoff. Casey Robinson swings and misses. There's strike number 3. Michael Coxon now up. Shaker needs some offense to get going. And they just need to out-hit their opponents, though, right now, once again, not going to be the case. They have walked more, but, again, that's not exactly typically going to cut it. It could at the lower level if you get a heck of a ton of walks. But you can't rely on that there. Called strike 2. Michael Coxon 1 for 2. Hit by a pitch his last time up. Briggs with 10 pitches here in this inning. And Coxon on an 0-2 hole. 1 away. Here's the pitch. This one fouled back over to the bleachers behind home plate. 10-6 Brunswick in the lead. 0-2. We're going to do it again for Michael Coxon. Briggs up to 40 pitches in the relief spot here today. Shaker needs a big-time inning. They just haven't gotten one like Brunswick has. They got 3 runs that last inning, but then Brunswick took 3 runs right back there. Good take for Michael Coxon. That one close. Had good movement there on the end. Still 2 strikes to Michael Coxon. He'll call time. Again, Shaker Heights in their black jerseys, gray pants, the away look typically for the Red Raiders. You can imagine tomorrow it'll be red on white. The pitch. This one's skied up over in the left field. And getting under it, battling the sun, is Moore to make the grab out number 2. Aaron Neiman now up. Here in the top of the 6th, Shaker Heights. It's not looking good for him, but they know that this is still a game they can win. It's just they got to string the hits together in a day, though they have gotten a good amount of hits. They just haven't been able. It's been a different kind of game. It's been one of the games where you can't balance with the pitching. The pitching just was more of the struggling point here today with how many? It was 8 earned runs coming across. Well, for Shaker Heights, they had 5 earned runs coming across. But they've just been seeing the ball better today, Shaker Heights, and that's got to be something they gotta take that into consideration as they move forward against Beechwood, a team they should win tomorrow. That's going to be a home game. We'll be sure to see you there. And there's a swing and a miss from Aaron Neiman, 2-1. But tomorrow, back home, Shaker Heights, hopefully going to ignore their last game, or at least forget their last game, and which they played there at home. Again, that was against Brunswick just yesterday. They're a good hold from Aaron Neiman, just holds off for a 3-1 count. Again, it was a competitive game, just not the way you want to leave your home baseball field with a 9-run inning to your opponent. Tomorrow, Beechwood, a team that Shaker knows they should beat. This one tapped just above the head of Briggs. Now the throw from second, and that's going to be in time. Beauty of a play from Smigla for out number 3. 1-2-3, down go the Red Raiders, and we'll see who comes out to pitch here in the bottom of the 6th for Shaker Heights. Thanks for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum is on the call. Shaker Heights with 3 more outs to work with on offense, but they got to get through this bit of defense first. We're back with you. And again, Shaker Heights with a lack of relief pitching. They come in again with a middle infielder taking over as a relief guy, and that's Andy Berglund, who just pitched yesterday for JV, only pitched for 2 outs. He pitched 15, and 7 of them went for strikes, so of course not the rate you want to see, but here today, it's just going to be his job to get those 3 outs. He didn't give up any runs yesterday. He's got a 0 ERA, so that's got to be something. That was his only opportunity that he has pitched so far for Shaker Heights this season. Again, of course, on the JV side. So Shaker Heights down 10-6 here against the Blue Devils. And that pitch way up high, towering over the head of Trush. Actually, the person leading the innings pitched for JV is actually Isaac Lazar, who's pitched 10 and 2/3 innings. Here's the next pitch from Berglund. That's going to be right in there. Strike two. But yeah, Berglund in that one inning pitched. He had 15 pitches, as we said, 7 strikes, 8 balls. This one lined out in the left. That one going to bloop down just in front of Wesley Lewis. That's going to get there for a single. Leadoff man on here in the bottom of the 6th. Andy Berglund yesterday, he actually struck out 2. We did, however, give up a walk. No hits. And so, yeah, yesterday is the only time this kid has pitched this season for JV or Vars. That pitch up high and away. Trush on first. No outs just yet, as Andy Berglund is getting set. We'll see who pitches tomorrow, actually, for Shaker Heights and who would come in relief there. We haven't seen Tyler Zach back with the Shaker Heights baseball squad in a moment. Not sure if there's still just illness there, if there's something else we wouldn't have known. Here's this next pitch down low. 3 balls, no strikes. But yeah, we'll see who gets the rock tomorrow. It could be Stolfus, even, considering he hasn't pitched yesterday or today. That would make sense if it was Stolfus, considering he's just about the one pitcher that hasn't gone. But again, if Tyler Zach is back, then it could be him. Just haven't seen him in a while. 10-6 your score, or walk issued over to Hubble. Adams is 3 for 4 on the day. And here's first pitch to him. That one in there. Strike number 1. Bit of a late call that time from home plate umpire. Brunswick 14 hits to this point. Shaker Heights only with 9, which actually is a bigger improvement over past games. They just haven't been able to string them together, it seems, just as much. They haven't been able to get streaky with those hits to bring in more runs. Here, time called by the man at home plate, Adams. As we said, bit of a longer game, this one. We're much past the 2-hour point, just about 2:15 now. This next one cut on, sent foul back into the backstop. Good pitch that time for Berglund. Had a little late break downwards to it. Hubble getting set to take his lead off of first, following suit. Trush off of second. And now here, double run. And that one going to get down just along the third base line. That'll score 1. And now runners over at second and third. Devils continue to pile on the lead. Right now, only one guy without a hit for Brunswick. That's DeFala, who has still come across as a run. Actually, don't think Miller has either. And indeed, that's the case. (11-6) your score. This one low. So the double for Adams moves into 4 for 5 on the day with 3 singles and a double. Hubble is over at third now. This one down low, that's going to get away from Coxon. Oh, umpire eventually going to call dead ball. Bit of a late call. He waited for Hubble to break off to home, and then they made the call. Lada now over at first. It was actually because he was hit by pitch. So bases loaded, nobody out. Here for the Blue Devils. 5-run ball game to the advantage of the Blue Devils. That one, ooh, he's been calling that, but that time not going to get it. Ball one. And this next one, that one going to be sent right through the gap of second and third. That one going to get through to Wesley Lewis. Lewis's throw in. Isaac Lazar on the relay. Not sure he knew that one was meant to go home, but there you go. Scoring 2 more are the Devils. 13-6. In the blink of an eye, this one feels a little bit more out of reach. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Runners on first and second. Poindexter on first, and Wajlada, or excuse me, Wajtala on second. That first one in there for a strike to Rusher. And now this next one from Berglund. Ooh, up. And luckily Michael Coxon quick to his feet to let that one, or excuse me, to not let that one get on past him and score. Or excuse me, advance more runners in a scoring position. That one up and in. Game Changer still says it's 12-6. Not the case. Scoreboard says it's 13-6. That is the case. 2-1 count. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That one outside and low. Another walk loads him right back. Three balls, 1 strike. Nobody out. Here it goes. And this one tapped off the bump, and that's just going to be an awkward play for Malachi Krantz to make. And he's going to reach. Everyone's safe out there on the infield dirt. 7-run ball game will remain intact. No outs will also be a story that remains intact. Callahan, the batter. First pitch to him up high, just barely. 13-6. Shaker doesn't want to be mercied here late in this one. We'll see if that would be the case. Coxon with a good block keeps it in front of him and away from the backstop. Bases loaded for Callahan, who's a 1-for-1 with a single. This one tapped foul over to the Red Raider dugout side. Howard going to deliver it back over to Berglund. Howard, again, a guy out of the lineup here today. Only 1 defensive error to this point for Shaker Heights. It comes off of Isaac Lazar, and the tip of his glove just tipped off and worked its way into shallow left field. Ooh, that one up high. 3 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out. Looks like this one could end up as a walk-in. As Callahan here, you could imagine he'll take, but we'll see what gets delivered to him, and indeed it's low in the dirt. Ball 4. There walks in a run. First time we've seen that this season. And Brunswick extends that lead up to 8. Runner on first now is Callahan after his walk, 5-pitch walk. That one in there for strike 1. Rosher on second, and Poindexter on third, getting set to take his lead back. More 2-for-4 on the day. Next pitch to him is sent over to the third base side. Lazar struggles to handle it at first. Eventually will tap on third to get that force out. But now it's a 9-run ball game as Poindexter scored from third. 1 hit. This one's a double digit. Well, there's our first out here in the bottom of the 6th. And that first one inside to the new batter Moore. Or excuse me, to the new batter number 8, I believe. Or excuse me, 6. That one in tight once again. Well, not looking good here for the Red Raiders, you can't lie. If they keep it here, then Shaker maybe could get a 9-run inning of their own, just like how Brunswick did yesterday. But again, not exactly the likely story. This one popped up. Fly out opportunity for Leo Pevnik. He'll deliver this one back into the infield quick. And no advance for Callahan over at second. Good out number 2 that time. Callahan still at second. More on first. Trush, the new batter. He's 2 for 5 here today with 2 runs. And this next one, can that get through? Isaac Lazar on the handle. The throw on to first. Will it be in time? Indeed. Well, Shaker Heights just avoids a 10-run deficit, and we keep this game moving forward as Shaker Heights has 3 outs to work with, but 9 runs to make up. 15-6, your score with Brunswick on top as we head into the final inning, the 7th inning. Vaughn Ullum on the call. We'll be right back with you here from Brunswick, Ohio. Braden White, Malachi Kranz, Leo Pevnik, 4-5-6 due up here in the batting order for Shaker Heights. Through 6, Shaker Heights down by 9. 15-6 your score. And unless Shaker Heights can get 9 here in the final inning, Shaker Heights will lose this series 2-0. First pitch taken there from Braden White. Braden White, Malachi Kranz, Leo Pevnik, as we said, the guys do up. Braden White 2 for 3 here today with an RBI. This one down low he'll take for ball 1. Shaker Heights was entering into today 2-7. Now it looks like through their first 10 games they're going to start off 2-8. Not a good start to a season, but something they could rebound from. This one tapped foul just to the left of the third base line over near Kranz at the on-deck circle. Braden White now in a 2-strike spot. 1-2. Nobody on just yet here in the top of the 7th. Here's the pitch, and that one's skied up out into left center. Center fielder under it, and making the grab there is Wajtala. Well, quick, easy 4-pitch out for Braden White. He'll take his jog back over to the dugout. Malachi Kranz here today, looking for a big opportunity on offense. Just try to get something. Not be hitless here today. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts to his name so far. And we'll see what happens here. Shaker Heights. Kranz took that first one for ball 1. 1-0 count with 1 away to number 1-5. The pitch. Ooh, that one just got a piece of the bet. That one fouled away. 1-1 count. Shaker Heights needing to walk away from this game, and as we said, just almost in a way not remember the series. They're going to lose this one, this series in total. If Shaker Heights is unable to get any runs, this is going to be out 2, as it's going to be an easy pop out to the shortstop. Trush under it there, makes the grab. But yeah, Shaker Heights would somehow avoid getting mercied, but lose the series by 19. That is not something that you thought we were going to say. Granted, we didn't think we'd be saying that they were losing a series by 19 runs in the first place. I mean, this game has been competitive. It's just been those couple of runs that have gotten away from, or excuse me, those couple of innings that have gotten away from him. If we take away the 3rd inning and the 6th inning on both sides, Shaker Heights would only be losing this game by 1. Here, Leo Pevnik in a 1-0 count, 2 away. Next pitch to him, not 1 catching. Well, it's been a longer game as well. It's been, as we said, it's 15-6, so a 21-run game. Also one with a lot of pitching changes. Only 1 for Brunswick, but a couple for Shaker Heights. And then just a lot of long ABs and a lot of just longer innings in total. And so Shaker Heights can also be too gassed tomorrow in a game that they know they should win here. A grounder over to short, and Trush misplays it. Leo Pevnik going to beat it out over at first. It'll keep the game going for Isaac Lazar, the freshman, to make another plate appearance happen. Again, if right now, if you're Shaker Heights, if you are wanting to get a hit, it's not to win the game. It's not to be a hero. It's just to keep the game rolling. Isaac Lazar 1 for 3 here today. He's gotten a single. Shaker Heights with all singles except for a couple of doubles, so that's 7 singles. That first one there for a strike. 2 away here, Leo Pevnik over at first. He reached on an error. But yeah, Shaker Heights, even though this has been a longer game, they can't get winded for the game tomorrow. They really can't. The team that they're supposed to beat is Beechwood, a team in which Shaker has scrimmaged with, or excuse me, not scrimmaged, but they've done joint practices with them a couple times over the preseason. This next one cut on. This one out in the center, which Wichita gets under it. It'll make the routine grab. And so we'll finish up that thought, but instead this time we're just going to finish it right in front of the camera. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn on the call. Shaker Heights losing this one by 9. They lost yesterday's game by 10. And it's not because they exactly were the lesser team through these games. I mean, they played competitive games in both games. The series is not dictated by the differential in runs between the two squads. Shaker Heights, again, 12-2 yesterday, 15-6 here today. But Shaker Heights, as we said, they can't let this series get them down, and they can't let that mentality remain with them as they go back home tomorrow and they take on the Beechwood Bison. The Bison are a squad that Shaker is supposed to be, and that should be Shaker Heights' win number 3, though it is not a gimme. In that second little game that Shaker Heights and Beechwood did, they did a little cage game for fun, and Shaker Heights actually lost that cage game. If you don't know how a cage game works, it's basically just offense versus defense. Whole thing, I'm not exactly going to get into that, but Shaker Heights, that doesn't technically count as a scrimmage. That's how Shaker Heights was able to get it going and keep their amount of scrimmages alive. But Shaker Heights was in that cage game. They lost that cage game. Beechwood's offense was able to get the better of Shaker's pitching, and Shaker Heights' pitching was struggling that day. So if Shaker's pitching is once again struggling against Beechwood tomorrow, we could be in for another rough one, and Shaker Heights just cannot let that mentality of today and yesterday affect their game tomorrow. But thank you very much for tuning in. Again, and our apologies for missing yesterday's game, but here we were today calling this one, and we'll be back at it for the remainder of the games this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, starting with tomorrow back home. We'll be sure to tune in 5 o'clock tomorrow, Shaker Heights versus Beechwood back in Shaker Heights. Vaughn Ullum with you. We'll see you tomorrow.